Dr. Keating, talk
Nice
to
to
me,
meet
man. How
you.
you
Nice to
feeling?
talk. I'm feeling so strong. I'm super healed. I'm ready.
Man, you are I don't know how closely you follow it, but you are one of the top ranked competitors on Aries Arms, so North America. Number 13 right-handed, and number 19 left-handed, which is actually kind of interesting. We'll talk about that a little bit. But also your ELO score on the right hand at 242 plus is 1801. And that is there's not, which is why your highest rank. That's not very many people have that.
It's
With all that about you, how are you approaching this match?
so I do really well in tournaments, and I've been pulling tournaments for a long time. So I would imagine my scores are pretty high because it takes a special guy to beat me in a tournament. But I I feel pretty good about all that, and I'm ready for this little challenge match. Uh, was ready for a bigger opponent, but I was around 240. I was floating around 240 when what's his name from New Mexico.
Well, yeah, let's talk about that. So originally you were scheduled at 253 pounds
Yeah,
with oh god, Nathan McAllen.
Nathan McCowan. Yeah, and we had been trying to set that up for a year from last year. So I was ready for Nathan, and I had probably 10 pounds to bulk. I had a little bit of room to eat a couple cheeseburgers, and so that's what I had my mindset on because usually I never get the bulk. I'm always cutting. So in this specific scenario, I was down and ready, but so when he backed out and they threw Bedwell as an opponent that I could have, I was like, absolutely, give it to me. I'm ready. That's the sweet spot.
Yeah, and this is a has been on a tear for sure. He's definitely been on a tear. Um, Coming down to 232, I believe, is the weight that you're meeting at. How does that affect you?
It's a little bit lower than I'm used to. I was 235.0 this morning, so I'm just been kind of slowing down on my food, fasting a little bit more, a little more water. So I'll make weight probably tomorrow or the next day, and sip on water on the way down to Austin Saturday morning. But it's a little bit more because I didn't want to cut. I've kind of been in a no cut zone, sitting around 240. I just walk around anywhere and pull at 242, but. So the reason I took this match so quick is because I was light, and if I was 250 already, I might not, it would have been a little bit harder of a choice, but I was already light, so I took it.
Yeah. Well, um, we don't get this opportunity too much to hear from Tucker Keating, so I'm going to take the opportunity. One of the things for people that don't know, arm wrestling runs literally in your blood. Your dad taking double golds back in 2002, from 1986, building a name for himself while raising you around the sport. What's it been like for you coming up under that legacy?
Man, just growing up, when I started going to tournaments, I was still pretty small and not really understanding, just being a little kid. And then as you get a little older and you start understanding your surroundings, I understood that when we go to a tournament, that my dad was the baddest dude there. And from a little kid, that's awesome. My dad's the strongest dude in the building. And then it got to where, years after that, we would go and I'd be like, oh, there's Harold Owens. That's a competition. So now, now I'm starting to point out who the badasses are along with my father. So when I got the chance to start pulling, I had all the knowledge locked in because I had been watching on his hip, paying attention in practice. Already had top roll embedded in my head, at 15. But I was playing football and stuff. So at 17, when I kind of hopped on the table at practice, we was at Scott's house in Conroe. that's when I started getting on the table to put what I thought I knew on the table and start fine tuning things. And then I pulled amateur for probably 6 or 7 years and got my ass kicked until I finally started winning a couple tournaments. And then, I put my time in. That's what people don't understand. I put 6 or 7, maybe even 8 years in as amateur, and then 3 or 4 years is in between pulling both, maybe still get my ass kicked in the pros. And then now for the last 5 years, I've been pulling nothing but pro. And I've in the last 3 or 4 years, I've been dominating at pro and dominating around Texas for sure. Now I'm having to step out to see competition. Like I went to Arnold's, I dominated this East versus West tournament. So these days it takes a top 20 ranked guy to give me give me what I need in a tournament. And so for Bedwell, I'm used to pulling 240. So I'll cut weight from 260, and I'm big at that weight class. So at 230, I'm fucking huge.
Yeah.
So at Bedwell, I've been waiting to get the chance to come down here and kind of, in nice words, put him in his place and put him where he needs to be, because he's on a little pedestal at a lightweight, but I can cut that weight, and I'll show him what 14 years of pulling feels like.
Well, it kind of answers my question, but you can't take nothing away from the man. He has been on a tear, especially in the Texas scene. What's your honest take on his climb? I mean,
how long has he been pulling? 5 or 6 years, maybe? Seven?
Yeah, sounds about right to me. Yeah.
Something like that. I have a lot of guys around me in my practice that are 5 to 6 year range, and they're studs. And I see that Bedwell is a specimen in the way that he performs great. He makes sure he gets it done. Now, I have ran into him in competition down there in spring, and that was our first meeting. Yes. Where I don't know if he missed weight or what happened, but he pulled the 240s up there with me, and I felt his wrist. His wrist is crazy.
Yeah.
I tried to top roll him outside the strap, and I lost one of those matches trying to bail on him to get to the strap. I took an L, and I don't hand L's out easily, so he earned that L from me. But he found out in the finals what a hook feels like, and he backed me into a corner. And I don't like using a hook, but I have one. But it just takes somebody to back me into the hook for me to bust it out.
Yeah. I think I've watched that probably 10 or 15 times. And yeah, precisely how it went. He talked a little bit about it in his interview too. But man, one of the things I've been talking to everybody about too is just that, like I want to know what their prep is, want to know how they're training. Everybody's got a little bit of a different thing. With you, it's very different because arm wrestling has been your life. You've been consistent for a super, super long time. What is your training philosophy now? And how does it differ from when you started, or has it always been the same?
So most of my career, I've taken advice from other guys around me, specifically my father. And then you got guys like James, which he's been pulling for 25 years.
James Chansey.
Yeah, James Chansey. He was my dad's first protege, so to speak.
Yep.
So I listen to them, and so from the get go, anytime we go to a competition, 3 weeks of hill time is mandatory. So I don't touch a weight. Maybe 2 weeks out, I'll do some just blood work, just like not even just kind of fucking around. I'll do blood work. Yeah. But 3 weeks of no table time. And usually for me, since I practice on Wednesdays, it winds up being 3.5 weeks. So I want to make damn sure, I don't care how small my muscles get. I don't care how unpumped I am, because I feel so healed and I'm not sore. I'm not nothing. I'm ready to go in there. And as soon as I get my mind right and get my adrenaline pumping, that's when the muscles show up. And then that's where I'm ready to go. And I have I have a little pre-ritual way to get my mind, where it needs to be. And to be honest, I think that differs. I think that's what sets me apart from guys, because I know what it takes to zone out and go into a different universe and get the dub.
Yeah, definitely. How long has it been that way for you? I mean, so how long have you been taking 3.5 weeks off.
For tournaments, I've been taking 3.5 weeks off for probably the last 10 years. I mean, probably forever. I mean, if it was something I care about, now I have full tournaments back to with 2 weeks in between. You know, if it's like a little tournament here, I don't mind going to throwing my name out in a little tournament and with 2 weeks of field time. And even if a badass shows up, fuck it, I'll still pull. But for something I care about, like Arnold's, East versus West, and now that my name is getting out, now that I have a target on my back because I am starting to build a name, you're gonna get full beast mode every single time you're gonna see me, and I pride myself on that because some guys make excuses, and I never make it. You're never gonna hear an excuse fly out of my mouth because every time I show up, you're gonna get it all. So if you take a win from me or if you beat me out of a super match, oh, you're a stud. You're a bad motherfucker, boy. I'm telling you what, because how I'm feeling inside, I don't lose.
I love that. Well, man, this is a headliner for a reason. Uh, and yeah, speaking of career in arm wrestling, what does this match mean? And what are your goals? Where are you headed? This is it's a big question, and it's sometimes difficult to answer because arm wrestling is fun, but now things are changing.
So this match specifically for me is kind of a cocky match for me. I'm really just dropping weight just to show everybody I can, just to knock Bedwell off his pedestal because he thinks he's a somebody now. And I've been a somebody. So if you want to step up into the realm where I've been at, I'll pull you. I'll show you what it is. But so that's just my take on it. Just because he's kind of a backup match, you know what I mean? So of course I'm taking him seriously, and I know what he can do because I've felt his hand, and I know he's a lot stronger now. But I'm also a lot stronger than when he felt me, and I have the knowledge of how he pulls, and now to be honest, I feel that he's fucked and he has no lane, and I'm going to do whatever I please, whether that be top roll him or hook him or in and out of the strap because he's not going to feel me bail to get to the strap again. I'm either going to control his hand on the outside or I'm just going to suck him in a hook where I need him to be.
I love that. I love that. So, and what this match means is that you will be the belt holder for Flashpoint.
I love it.
So you're the winner, and it sounds like in your mind you already are. What does it look like for you? Do you have your eyes set on somebody? Is there somebody that you want to see?
So let me say this: that this 232-pound belt is a weird weight class, and it's kind of different for me, right? Because it would take a lot for me to want to drop to 220. You know, 220 is a bit much for me because I'm 6'3" and I've been up to 290 in my life. So 220 is too little, but this 230, I don't know. I wouldn't mind defending my 230 against any 230 cat that wants it. And I'll take the 253 belt and I'll double belt both of those weight classes. And anybody that wants it in any one of those weight classes can get it in Texas. That's how I'm feeling.
Dr. Keating, I love it. I love it, my man. Anything else you want to say to Michael Bedwell?
I appreciate the confidence, Bedwell, and I'm glad you're here, but you're gonna get a whole lot of smoke, and I'm just sorry I can't take more of your money.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate your time. I seriously appreciate it.
I appreciate you, and I look forward to Saturday.